So which of these will immediately prove that triangle 1 is congruent to triangle 2 using hypotenuse leg? Okay, well, what do we need to have? We need to have the hypotenuse congruent and one of the leg pairs congruent, and we need to know that they're right angles, right triangles. So we do. We know that that's true. So we're already in this situation. This shared side is reflexively congruent to itself. And what do we really have? Well, here we have angle side angle. We don't have any information about the two legs. So we don't have the hypotenuse. And so in that case, it's not 1. So it can't be one that says 1 only. So it's either going to be 2 or 3 or both of them. So let's take a look. We have in this triangle, in this number 2, we have their right angles. We don't have the hypotenuse here. We don't have that is equal to that. Now, we can certainly calculate it by saying a squared, same on both, plus b squared will equal c squared. And so we actually do know that they're congruent because both of their legs are congruent. And so we have a leg, we have the right angle, but what we really just have is side angle side. Even though it's a right angle, it's still just side angle side. So I'm going to put a question mark here, and I'm going to check the answers to see whether they consider us to immediately be having this information that the hypotenuse on each one, they're congruent to each other because we know the legs are congruent. But I don't think that they're going to say that. I wouldn't say that we immediately know that. So put a question mark there. I'll look it up in a second. But for number 3, if it's not number 3, then it's definitely that one. But let's look at number 3. Well, we do have the hypotenuse on this. That's a required thing for this. We have right angles here. They have to be right triangles, so we have that. And we have a reflexively shared side, which is a leg of each of these. So we right now have hypotenuse and leg congruent on the 2 triangles that are right triangles. So definitely C. Definitely 3. And we'll see whether it's C in just a second. Okay, great. So according to the answers at the end of the study guide, which, as you can see, I'm not looking at the answers before I do them. I'm just solving them because I shouldn't need to look at the answers in order to solve the problems I'm assigning to you. Anyway, when I check those, just to be sure, and I see that it says C, so they are not considering, us to already have the information about the hypotenuse. You would have to, they do say that you would have to figure that out. That's not something that's given to you right straight away. So they're not counting pair 2 as having that. So what we're left with is simply pair 3, and that would be answer C. And it makes sense because we didn't have any information about the hypotenuse on either one of these for 1 and 2. So although we could calculate it for pair 2, we could calculate this using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And we know it'll be the same because the legs are the same. It's just not information that's given to us, and they don't consider it as given to us. So our answer is C, just pair 3 only.